Man, we've been prepping for this.
Dude, tonight's gonna be crazy.
We've been preparing, we've been prepping, and also preparing for the night that we would let you know all the details of the gauntlet. That's tonight, people. It's tonight. But before we get started, there's a couple things you're gonna want to know. Number one, hit us with that. What do we got? Baptisms.
Woo!
We have baptisms this weekend. If you have never made the decision to get baptized, I totally encourage you to do so. If you follow Jesus, this is the best way to go public with your faith. Talk to a small group leader tonight. We're gonna have a bunch of student baptisms and young adults at the 10 and the 11:30. So come through, talk to a small group leader. We love you. Next.
That's amazing. I am so excited for baptisms. If you have not signed up yet, make sure you get onto our Remind app.
Remind, that's
Text
right.
these letters to those numbers, and you're gonna hear all the details about the events and stuff we got going on, so you're not gonna want to miss it. And
Every detail.
if you sign up for the Remind app, you will be entered into a raffle, and every
That's
week
right.
we got a winner of the raffle. So Daisy,
We have a winner today. We actually
have a
do.
winner.
I have a used mask, okay? No, just kidding. The gift card's in my office, I'm sorry. But do we have a drum roll, please? Keep going. Keep going. Shelby Owens!
come on up, get your gift card.
She's not even here tonight, which means you gotta come next week if you want your gift card, okay? She's the winner for this week's Remind raffle.
awesome.
So sign up, text in. We want to shoot you text messages about what's happening at Student Ministry, so do it. Hey, we have something else special
Dude,
for tonight.
tonight's a big night.
Oh my gosh.
They're ready.
I think they're actually ready for this. Do you think
So-
they're ready? I think they're ready.
All
Okay.
right, guys. Tonight, we are announcing
We're announcing
the team names for the gauntlet.
the gauntlet. It's happening tonight. You're already so. What do we got? All right. This first team is known for the billions upon billions of people they have sent to the restroom after ingesting their burritos. This team is the mastermind behind combining things like Doritos and tacos. It's the team we call Taco Bell! Team Taco Bell! Oh man, is that a burrito wrap on you? Oh my gosh, for those of you who were born after the year 1995, those pants are the same cups Taco Bell used to have in the 90s. Team Taco Bell, what do you have to say for yourself?
We're gonna win this thing. That's all I gotta say.
They're gonna win this thing, but who is on Team Taco Bell? Let's show them. We've got the Tortilla Killers. We've got
The Burrito Blasters.
Burrito Blasters. We also have the Macho Nachos. Let's go.
And last but not least, the Crunch Rappers.
The Crunchy Rappers. Team T-Bell is shaping up for some really good competition.
All right, competition's looking tough out here. Okay, guys, Team 2 is
Tell us.
the only drive-through place that I can't go unless I have an EpiPen.
That's right. EpiPens galore.
A team
We call Chick-fil-A! There we go! Let's go! Team Chick-fil-A!
All right, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, excuse me, sir. What is your strategy for winning this competition?
Eat more chicken! Okay, on Team Chick-fil-A, we have the following teams. Throw it up before we got in the 7th grade girls are the Sweet Teas. That's Sweet Teas.
7th grade guys, we got the Zesty Buffalo.
The Zesty Buffaloes. And we have the 9th grade girls, which are the Chick-fil-Ladies.
And 9th grade guys, can't forget about you. We've got the Chick-Finessers.
Freshman guys, Chick-Finesse. That's right. That is the team Chick-fil-A. It is pretty litty.
Dude, that team
But-
is stacked, but we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. We've got another team. And in fact, is there a Jake Manfredi somewhere to see why this screen is only red? Help me out. But this team is known for godly amount of godly verses underneath their cups and fry boats.
And I'm pretty sure their lettuce is from Idaho.
That's right. Their lettuce comes from Idaho, and their potatoes come from the California Central Valley. It's the team we call In-N-Out. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
How did you do that?
What do you have to say for yourself, team In-N-Out?
Hey, every other team needs a bunch of different sauces just to compete. We only need one sauce!
One sauce. They brought the sauce. They didn't even have time for the juice. Here are the teams for Team In-N-Out. We've got the 8th grade girls with the double trouble. That's right.
And 8th grade guys, we've got the Flying Dutchman.
And the 10th grade guys, we got the Animal Fries guys, the boys.
And last but not least, we have the Protein Stylers.
Protein Stylers, let's go. This team is surely set to not be forgetted. Okay, can we see all the teams? Hit us with all the teams. All right, these are your teams. These are your mascots. You will be competing for the next 4 weeks. I love it. You will compete.
Chick-fil-A!
Oh, you even need to scream off. I love it. All right. So we get it. Now, listen. You will be competing for the next 4 weeks of youth group to earn points. You will compete all over the place. But to start off, they can win points tonight, can't they, Kat?
They do get some points tonight.
They really do.
And I think the best way to start off is a good old little scream off.
Oh boy, a little bit of a scream off. Let's see, if you burst my eardrums, your team will win at least 500 points. Now, before we get started, here's what's on the line. The golden spatula and free drive-through of your choice for your entire team,
For
okay?
the whole
That's every
team.
small group. When Taco Bell wins, it's gonna be great, okay? We've got this. So, we got this. Why don't we start with Team In-N-Out? Team In-N-Out, make some noise!
That was cute.
That was okay.
Cute.
That was okay.
But I think Chick-fil-A can do a little bit better. Chick-fil-A, let me hear you scream.
Chick-fil-A!
Hard to beat. That's hard to beat.
I respect that, but everybody knows the team that's gonna win is the team that is over here called Team Taco Bell! Oh man, it's not even a close competition, but you guys got this, Chick-fil-Ladies. Here's looking at you, you got it. So, tonight, for the next 3 minutes, you have a mission. That is to create the best team poster, banner, flyer, sign,
something like that.
at your table. You've got paper, you've got pens. Write your team name on one side. You have 3 minutes to create. Where are the pens?
The pens are under the table.
The pens are under the tables.
We're gonna get started. Let's start the clock. 3 minutes.
3, 2, 1, go!
We're going.
You have 3 minutes on the clock to create the most beautiful, epic, spirit-filled poster for your team and its
What are you
name.
guys gonna draw?
You got this. I want to see
I need a
collaboration.
team representative.
Oh.
What are you guys drawing, 6th grade boys?
I want to see
They don't
collabs.
know.
Yeah.
Taco Bell explosion. Are you going base camp again this year? Are you gonna do base camp again this year?
I want to see some beautiful tortilla killers, the burrito blasters, macho nachos, guys. Just make these things beautiful.
Ooh, I'm liking. I'm seeing some good art pieces over here with Chick-fil-A.
Dang, the Chick-finessers are getting after it. with some beautiful, beautiful
Where
work.
my Chick-fil-Ladies at? Looking beautiful.
Well done. Oh, look at this. Look at all these markers that just appeared for you guys. Well done. Beautiful,
I'm
beautiful.
seeing some really nice lettering with the 10th grade
Dang,
girls.
the crunchy
10th grade
wrappers.
boys.
I
What
love
do you
it.
guys
I love
got?
Hey, Tortilla Killers,
What a
how's it
beautiful
going?
design. Really good.
I like it. It's very aesthetic.
What? I mean, you guys get whatever you get.
Yeah,
You
boy.
can draw on the other side, sure. Yeah, draw on both. What you guys gotta do? I've never seen so much creativity before than with these 8th grade boys.
Beautiful creativity. We love it. We love it.
You're just gonna take my word,
We've got
Michael?
people on top of the tables trying to make this thing happen. The sweet teas are getting after it. I love it.
Ooh, I'm liking what I'm seeing over
Dang,
this table.
all right, boys.
Such beautiful handwriting. How do you guys do that?
The Animal Fries guys are getting after it.
19th grade boys!
Good job, ladies. Looking good. The
What?
protein stylers.
You guys should be out of college with that. What are you doing being in school still? I'm in 19th grade pretty much.
Dude, the 8th grade boys getting active.
I
Some Flying Dutchman, yeah. If you didn't know, there are all kinds of different things on the In-N-Out menu. You've got Flying Dutchman, you've got Animal Fries, you got
I'll see
protein
what I can do.
style.
I'll see what I can do. All right, guys, time's a ticking. I think we're
Time is
almost
ticking.
at the 3-minute mark.
We're getting close. We have 30 seconds. 30 seconds left on your 3-minute timer.
Tortilla killers. I'm liking it. Those look so good. We have got some tough competition here.
I can tell how intense this is going to be just from the art that's coming out of this. This is some nice local art. I could sell this in T Exotics and make some actual money. Let's go. What do we got over here?
I think I'm
Double troubles. I love it.
I'm proud to be an honorary 19th grade boy.
Okay. You have 15 seconds left. 15 seconds left on your designs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put those markers down. Put the markers down, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna give them to Miss Cadence as she walks around. Cadence is gonna collect all the markers in an awesome bucket. Hey, as we turn a corner here, team in the back, help me out. Throw that little boom. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, guys, as we turn a corner here, we are so excited for what the Gauntlet is going to do, because what we're trying to do is we want to build community, okay? This stuff is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be a lot of shade thrown, potentially. Who knows? But the heart behind what we're doing is we want to build a big family, one big family across all the grades, all the teams, and everything. And so, you guys, when we roll into this, I can't wait to get into it with you. Bring your friends. They don't have to be from churches. Just bring anybody you know, anyone you love. Bring them out here to have fun with the Gauntlet with us these next few weeks. Up next, we got Jake and the band. They're gonna lead us in a time of worship. Would you guys stand with me? Let's pray, and then we'll get into this awesome new song they've got planned for us. God, we love you so much. We thank you so much for who you are. We thank you that you're the God who created fun. You're the God who created excitement. You're the God who created a joy that we can find only in you, Jesus. And so I pray that, God, as we just turn our hearts, our affection, and our attention to you, Jesus, that you would be the center of our everything right now as we worship you. In your son's name we pray. Everybody said, amen. Go, go, go.
everybody. Tonight we have a new song. It's called My Testimony. A testimony is our own expression of how God has moved in our lives. And it's a very powerful weapon to us. This song reminds us that if we're not dead, God still has a great, great plan for us, and He will use us through everything. So as we get into it tonight, I just hope that you all think about your own testimonies with God and that you praise Him for all the good things that He's done in your life. So I'm so excited, guys. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Darkness run for cover, but the miracle that I just can't get over, my name is registered in heaven. I believe in signs and wonders. I have resurrection power. The miracle that I just can't get over, my name is registered in heaven. Yeah, my praise belongs to you forever. We sing my testimony. This is my testimony, from death to life. His grace rewrote my story. I'll testify about Jesus Christ the righteous. I'm justified. This is my testimony. This is my testimony. Together we sing. Come together, sons and daughters, bought with blood and washed in water. We sing the praise. Sing the praises of the Spirit, Son and Father. Our God will finish what He started. Sing it again. Our God will finish what He started. Hey! This is my testimony. From death to life, His grace rewrote my story. I'll testify about Jesus Christ the righteous. I'm justified. This is my testimony. This is my testimony. This is my testimony, from death to life. His grace rewrote my story. I'll testify. This is my testimony, from death to life. His grace rewrote my story. I'll testify. Of Jesus Christ the righteous, I'm justified. This is my testimony. This is my testimony.
restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord, and great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. From light to darkness, restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord, and great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. The earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you,
gonna sing one more song actually before we get off stage. And with this next song, I'm gonna create some space. We're gonna create some music for you guys to actually just sit, talk with God, and think about the last week. So the guidance here is whatever's resting on your shoulders, whatever burdens, whatever anxiety, depression,
anything that's going on in your life right now, we're going to create space for you guys to surrender it to God. To actually sit, close your eyes, and give it up to God and allow his light to pierce through the darkness. So as we do that, we're going to play for a few seconds. And you guys can just take some time in that. And then once you're done, we're going to stand and sing again.
As you guys finish speaking with God, as you rise, I want you to do something a little bit different. Whenever you're done praying to Him, go ahead and stand with me. What I want you guys to do is stand so that you're spread out, arms length apart from everyone else around you. I'm sure you're used to it for social distancing. Whenever you're ready, just go ahead and stand. Spread out across this room. We have so much space. There's a lot of you guys, but there's even more space. Let's take advantage of this. Thank you for the helicopter motions. I want you guys to focus on a posture of worship with God. Just like we sang, He is worth singing to. So whether it's closing your eyes, lifting up your hands, just focus on Him in this song, right?
Peace, bring it all to peace. The storm surrounding me, let it break. At your name, still, call the sea to still, the rain in me to still, every wave. At your name, Jesus, Jesus.
trust you with all of your heart and soul. Oh, come on, guys. God is here.
Is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. My Jesus, Jesus, my Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus.
Amen. You guys can grab a seat.
What's up? It was time for the DTR. You all know what a DTR is? It means define the relationship. Okay? It was time for the DTR. I have seen many men try and fail at a DTR. They go for it, man, especially on my college campus. They'd sit there on the little bench with their little something. They're like, hey, so where do you think this thing's going? And just fail. DTRs are a dangerous business. There's no going back after a DTR. You start talking about, hey, we're gonna do this thing. You don't go backwards, okay? It's either it happens or it's over. So it had been a few months of wrestling back and forth of, hey, I like you, you like me, we could make a happy family, maybe not. We went back and forth, and we were trying to decide, hey, do I really want to like go all in and be in this relationship until finally we come to this point in time, okay, where we had really been able to have a lot of different conversations. We had talked about everything, okay? We talked about everything you could imagine talking about before being in a relationship. We hit all of it. And we even were building this little thing called trust, okay? So a simple example is I was sitting there chilling at home. Lexi, the love of my life, she didn't know it yet, but she was the love of my life. She's texting me, she's like, there's a giant bug in my room. Like freaking out, okay? She was living on a ranch at the time. And so the bugs out there, they're not like city bugs, okay? You got city bugs? Well, there's ranch bugs, all right? Ranch bugs like big bug, okay? And so I'm like, hey, you got this. I start coaching her through it, okay? First step, you're gonna go grab a shoe. Next step, you're gonna take aim. Next step, you're gonna get them. Okay, so I'm walking her through it, and she texts me back. She's like, oh my gosh, how'd you know that? You're so great at killing bugs. Boys, take notes. Take notes, boys. And so I'm like, yeah, no, I'm actually a professional bug killer. She's like, oh yeah? Well, wouldn't a professional bug killer have a license? And I was like, oh no, we're trying to build trust, okay? And so I whip out my phone, get on the Canva, and I'm just like making a graphic on my phone as fast as I can, like, and I text her this, 10,000 plus kills. Pro bug crusher, okay? Handle the pillar, okay? That was one, because Caterpillar, don't worry about it. Date issues, date expired. As you can tell, it's been a while, okay? Because my bug killing license is expired. Guys, I was this desperate, okay? I was head over heels for this girl that I was willing to fabricate a fake ID as a bug killer. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, there's no way this is actually something you made. I went back to my iPhone from 2012 and found this picture the other day. It's actual, factual, actually happened, true, real facts, okay? I was going for it, boys, all right? We were trying to lock this thing down, have that DTR, and so as trust had built, as we'd have conversation after conversation, the time had finally come. Do you know where I took her? Back to where it all began. In and out, that's right. So we got it in and out, boy. We go in there, we're sitting down, we start talking. We grab some strawberry milkshakes because they're pink. Don't know why that matters. And we start sitting there talking, and before you know it, we're going through all the details, man. Like she pressed me, man. We talked about the real heart stuff, right? Like, hey, are you looking at stuff on your phone that you shouldn't? Are you a player, or do you actually want to like be with somebody for real? Do you actually love Jesus? Do you actually plan to be faithful? Like, what's your plan to follow God while you're in this relationship? Like, dude, she had the list of questions, bro. That's how you know. If she's asking those type of serious questions, like, she's for real. I was willing to go there, willing to talk about all of it, willing to go in on all of it. Like, and we sat there for hours, and this had been built up after conversation and conversation. We got through the milkshakes and kept talking, okay? So we had to move locations. We go for this walk. And on the walk, I remember we had come to the final conclusion where we said, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna be all in. It's gonna be 100, okay? It's not just gonna be like 50% of my heart in and then like someone, no, 100% in and 100% in. And as soon as we feel like this thing isn't headed toward marriage, we're breaking up. We set that standard for ourselves in college. We said, that's gonna be the standard. As soon as that's not the thing, we're done. And you know what happened? We got married. So, but get this. Like we had set that standard, and we weren't perfect by any means. There's plenty of ways we messed up, and I don't want you to hear like, oh, it's the perfect. Why doesn't anybody send me a bug crushing license? Oh my gosh. Boys, I'm telling you, I'll send you the graphic, boys. It just changed the date. Listen. Like we had plenty of arguments. We had plenty of fights. We had plenty of times where we disagreed, where we sharpened each other. But what we learned every single time along the way is that we were willing to forgive each other. We were willing to show grace. We were willing to empower each other with whatever God had put on our hearts. And we were willing to keep pursuing a relationship. And so 20 months later, in the exact same spot where we made it official, I proposed. And she said yes. Exact same spot. Yeah, I'm a very lucky man. The rest is history. There's a baby. She's due in April. I'm sure you all meet her. Okay, it was incredible. So listen, the reason I tell you that is because when we began our relationship, even though everybody's got their own baggage they're gonna bring into it, like we had both dated some real jackwagons, okay, in our life. And we had brought that to it, and we had to figure out how to work through it. But by the time we were being serious about a relationship, we actually wanted to be in a serious relationship, what we did is we began with the end in mind. So this concept, I want you to think about this for a minute, because many people between the ages of 11 and 17 have a real hard time thinking this way, okay? I know you guys are smarter than that, which is why I don't even have to go over this. But just for my sake, I'm gonna go over it, okay? Listen, there's this guy, his name's Stephen Covey, wrote one of the most famous books called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, okay? One of his habits are this: begin with the end in mind. If you know where this thing is headed, you know how to make decisions. And you gotta kind of ask yourself, what even is the point of dating? Because we've been doing this series, right? We've been talking about relationships, and I get it. In a room this size, everybody's all over the map. We have people who are like, ew, girls are gross. And we have people who are like, I will not date until I'm married. And people who have been dating since they were in kindergarten on the playground. Like, please stop it, okay? People are all over the map. Parents are all over the map with what they've asked, and I support whatever your parents have said, okay? But what we need to do is we have to, at some point, learn to think biblically about relationships. We have to begin with the end in mind. And so if dating is ultimately kind of for the point of marriage, how does that reframe the way that we look at dating, especially in high school, middle school, when your dad's driving you to the movie with the girl and you're just like, so awkward. We got to begin with the end in mind. So let's go there. You guys ready? We're going to the end, but to get to the end, we're going to the beginning. Whoa, brain blown. Here we go. Genesis 2. Here's what happens. God creates everything. 7 days later, we're chilling. Adam's doing his thing, and Adam has been naming animals. He's like, I'm gonna call that one a tiger. I'm gonna call that one a kangaroo. I'm gonna call that one a platypus because I don't know what it is. Like, he's naming animals, and he gets kind of tired of it. Okay, he's bored. He's already named them all. So he's like, what do I do with my hands, God? What do I do? And God's like, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. And God, what he does is he realizes that there was no helper fit for Adam. He had no companion that was like him. And so God puts him into this deep sleep, sneaks a little rib out of there, breathes into life this beautiful being. And this being starts walking toward Adam after he awakens from his slumber. And he's like, whoa, man. And that's how they got their name, woman. Whoa, man, that's where it came from. He was like, whoa, let's go. His heart was captivated. This man was head over heels. He was so in love at that moment. Get this, he wrote the first poem. Here's how it goes. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, okay? Ladies, you're over here like, gross, that's a weird poem. Give him a break. Poetry hadn't been invented yet, okay? So that's his first poem. It's a love poem. And Eve is just sitting like, oh, okay, all right. Like, she's receiving it. And what it says is that the two became one. That it says that this is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. There's a mingling of souls. It's two people becoming one. I don't know about you, but in math, one is really hard to divide, right? One is one, it's just one. They had to invent this thing called fractions to make sense of it, right? Like, it's one. So let's start there. We're gonna start with one. Check this out. In Matthew 19, Jesus brings up the same sentence. He's trying to answer these people who are like, oh yeah, Jesus, well, what's the deal with marriage? And he's like, I got you. All the way back to Genesis 2. He says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become what? One. They become, how many? One. Okay, great. You guys are really, really smart. I love this, okay? They become one. It gets built upon again. Jesus says it. God says it at the very beginning of time. And then it's said another time in the book of Ephesians. You guys ready? Throw it up there. Yes. Therefore, sound familiar? Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his life, and the two shall become what? One flesh. Good job. You're with me. We get it. It's two become one. But what does that mean, really? What does that mean, really? Two becomes one flesh. Paul does us a favor. He explains what God said all the way back in Genesis 2, what Jesus says in Matthew 19. He explains it and says this. This mystery is profound. The fact that smelly dudes like me and beautiful ladies like Lexi find each other and are like, we should just make this work. Like, that is a profound mystery. Okay, you can ask any married person in here, they'll be like, yep, surprised me too. Like, it's a thing. Somehow, there's a mingling of these two things becoming one. But in becoming one, the idea is that it doesn't separate. It's supposed to stay one, like forever. The reason why is because it's a picture of Christ and the church. Some of you are like, what? I didn't sign up for this. Christ and the church, help me out. Okay, get this. Get this. What some of you may not know is you are in a covenant with God. If you believe in Jesus, if you've trusted in him, you have what's called a covenant. Raise your hand if you ever heard the word covenant before. Heard covenant? All right. Covenant is kind of an old school word. It's like, what's with a covenant? Okay. There's a difference between a covenant and a contract. In our culture today, the way that we look at marriage is a lot more like a contract than a covenant. What the Bible teaches us is that marriage, the mingling of these two souls becoming one, it's a covenant because it's the same picture of Christ and the church. You know what Jesus does with you? He makes a what? Come on, you guys are listening. I love it. Okay, a covenant. Thank you, Chase. I see that. Yeah, a covenant. He makes a covenant between us. In the same way, a man and a woman are designed to make a covenant. Here's the problem. In our world, we have treated relationships as contractual. This is the difference. Can you guys throw it up there in the back? Here's the difference. A contract is temporary. You set it for a certain amount of time, and then you can break it or get over it. A covenant is permanent. It's a lifelong thing. A contract is conditional. If you follow these certain things, we can hold up this contract. A covenant is unconditional. It's a promise that's not based on whether or not somebody else fulfills it. A contract is selfish. I write a contract to make sure that if I'm doing business with somebody, I don't get taken advantage of. I sign a contract so that my apartment knows that I'm gonna pay the rent because I'm probably gonna not, because I'm about myself. So I'm protecting myself with a contract. A covenant is selfless. A covenant is selfless. When Jesus made a covenant with you and me, there was nothing we could offer him. Not a single thing. And he made a covenant with us that was selfless. A contract says, if I get tired of you, if you get on my nerves, if you just gain weight, if you stop being attractive to me, if I find somebody else, then we move on. Contracts, you can just break, you can get out of it. In a covenant, it's till death. You feel me? It's all the way through. Are you starting to see the difference? There's a difference between a contract and a covenant. You see, the purpose of dating is ultimately to lead toward this kind of relationship. And let me tell you, it's unique. If you look around the world, the divorce rates are ridiculously high. If you look at Christian marriages, okay, just look at that. Christian marriages, Protestant marriages, heterosexual, monogamous, for a lifetime, they report the highest levels of satisfaction over against every other type of relationship in this world. They're not teaching you that in high school. What you're hearing in the media, what you're hearing on YouTube is like, let's all just cohabitate. She's the, what's that, new girl. Let's all just live together and be with whoever we want or whatever. There's some contractual agreement between us. What they find is people who live that way, they end up categorically more depressed than people who don't. They just end up depressed. They end up empty because you're not designed to live life in this contractual way in relationship. You were designed to build a covenant with somebody. Here's the problem though. Y'all are probably 5 to 15 years off from being in a covenant with somebody, right? Ostensibly. Some of y'all might get lucky. It's very rare that you're gonna marry your high school something, you know what I'm saying? Even rarer, you marry your middle school something. It happens. I know somebody. I know a couple couples where it's happened, but it's very, very rare. And so if the person you're with right now is likely to be married to somebody else, they're likely to be in a covenant with somebody else at some point where they're gonna promise till death. How does that impact the way that you treat that relationship? What's off limits? What's open? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? If the person you're with right now is going to be married to somebody else, and you're going to be married to somebody else, how does that impact the way that you make decisions in a relationship? Listen, I'm not saying that whoever you're dating, you need to just like make a covenant with, I'm going to covenant to you forever. Like, it might be toxic, okay? It might not be good. He might not be good for you, girl, okay? Like, that may not be a good idea. What we're talking about is something that's way longer down the road. After you've asked a lot of the hard questions, after you've sorted through how you want your lives to work out, what you want to do with kids and life and a career and all the stuff you probably don't care about yet. Come on, Michael, dating's fun. Is it? Because I'm just gonna throw this out here. I'm not against dating. What I am gonna say though is the things that happen most often in these relationships we end up in, they're kind of like fire. Hit me with the fire. I'm gonna hit the fire. Whoa. Dang. Okay. You guys looking for fire? Like, oh, that's pretty nice. Fire's cool. Some of you guys are a bunch of pyrotechnic weirdos since the time you were in second grade, lighting stuff on fire with an axe can. Like, some of you are weird like that. Some of you guys are like, I don't like fire, it's scary. Like, fire is one of those things where it can bring light, it can bring warmth. It just like, you like stare at it when you're around a campfire. Like, it's all consuming. Here's the thing with fire. Fire, when it's not in a fireplace, can do a whole lot of damage. You guys remember the wildfires last summer? Guys, the devastation that was caused by fire that wasn't in a fireplace was brutal. People lost their lives, they lost their homes, people lost their jobs. They lost everything, some of these people. Some of these people, the places that they're from, won't recover for generations. Fire can be devastating. But fire can also be really special. Check this out. What happens when fire's in a fireplace? Like, who doesn't want to cozy up next to that, right? Like, it's like, dang, that's nice. What is that? Scandinavian design? How that rug looks comfortable, okay? Like, when it's inside of a fireplace, a fire can be warm, it can be fun, it can be enjoyable, it can bring happiness to the home, it can be comforting. But get this, when fire gets outside of the context of the fireplace, it gets dangerous again, right? All I want to say is that many of the things that can happen, they just happen sometimes in a relationship because maybe we didn't set the right expectations or we didn't have the right boundaries, we didn't agree upon it at first. It ends up being outside this fire where it was meant to be in a fireplace, which we're gonna call a covenant. The fireplace is the covenant, a covenant of marriage, a promise that says, I'm never gonna leave you no matter what happens. The promise that says, I'm never gonna want somebody else. The promise that says, it's not about if then, it's about forever and always. Like, that kind of covenant is the covenant where these kinds of things belong. But what happens is we fall into pitfalls when we start playing with fire outside of it, and it can be devastating for your life and for the lives of those around you. You may not see it now, you may not see it in a year, but these things can impact us for generations. Just like fire when it's a wildfire. Now, some of you might be feeling defeated. Well, I've already screwed up, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Listen, there's always grace. Even the way that your system is wired, the way that your endocrine system is wired, like whenever the fire gets out of the fireplace and it starts messing around, what happens is that your brain literally is gonna bond to somebody on a physiological level. And then you actually crave them like you would crave a drug. God designed your body that way, to have that within the context of a covenant, not outside of a covenant. But the good news is there's this little thing called neuroplasticity. Lannis, where you at, buddy? Help me out. Neuroplasticity, right? Come on, Hunter knows all the neuroplasticity, all right? They tell me about this every week, all right? Neuroplasticity, it means that your brain can rewrite these pathways. So if you've goofed, if you've messed up, if the fire's been outside of the fireplace, listen, those things can be rewritten in your mind and in your pathways. But guys, know this, that the way God designed you, the way you're gonna have the most satisfying life that you could ever imagine, it's gonna happen when it's inside of the context of the fireplace. You guys feel me? Okay, I love you guys. That's why I'm telling you this, is because, look, we could talk about dating. It's great. We're talking about like who we need to be, who we need to look for, but also knowing what the end looks like. The end in mind being a covenant relationship that helps us to make decisions today. And so I hope that helps you guys in the weeks to come, in the months to come, because this is it for the feels, all right? We're gonna leave this for at least a year. But listen, as you go about your life, be thinking of this. Be thinking of this. Begin with the end in mind. Let me pray for you and we'll break into small groups. God, we love you so much. We thank you that you're good and that you've covenanted to us. You've made a promise to us that's unbreakable, and we get to be the benefactors of that. And so I pray that we'd never take that for granted, and that we'd extend that to whoever it is that you have for us one day, God. And I pray that you would help us to walk in your truth and in your light. We pray this in your son's name. Everybody said, amen. Go to small group.
Waiting at your door. You don't know you